Oh, man. What is up, guys? Welcome on into Fantasy Intervention. I can see Jamie is already in here with us. What's going on, Jamie? What's going on to all you DFS players out there? We are getting ready for yet another DFS episode. Get excited, guys. Get excited. And, of course, I had to bring with me Scott and Bo. What's going on, guys? How are y'all doing?
I'm doing great, guys. Let's get some wins this week.
Big time. We're 2 weeks, for me at least, 2 weeks in the money, and I want to make it 3. I'm here to learn from you guys and to share a little tidbit here and there what I picked up over this week studying. But really, we're trying to help everybody out there build those lineups and make that money. So, Mr. Chase, thanks for having us on, sir. I love being with my man Bo, and it's an honor. So,
Faith loves your beardette.
Beardette.
Yeah, that's like 3 hours of Chase not shaving. So
yeah,
pretty much. What did I shave like a week ago? I had the mustache last week, right?
Yeah.
Nobody's keeping track. Nobody
Yeah.
is. Nobody.
But I had the mustache on the live show, didn't I? Or no, I think I shaved it off right before we did the live show.
Uh-huh.
Your face has it's cool. It's one of those like 70s faces. Like every time you see it, it looks different. You're like, he's got sideburns, he's got a mustache, he's got a chin strap, he's got a full beard. Holy shit! It's 3 days I've seen him. Like I love it, man. It's cool.
It grows so fast, man. I can just do so much with it. So much fun.
This has been a year. 1 year of this. If I had your face, I would be like down to tits. You know, like I would be a man. So
yeah, I need to send you a photo of me like growing it out for 3 months. It's literally like this long. It's insane.
Dude,
Shout out
and
D
that's with
Brown.
me trimming it.
Yeah.
So anyways, guys, let's go ahead and get this episode started. I do want to give a shout out to everybody that's listening. Right, Bo knows best. What's up? We got Faith in the chat. God, look at all those handsome bearded faces. Chase's beardette. That's what you're talking about. I like it.
Oh,
Shout out D Brown.
Bo's the man.
And of course, yes, I shaved right after the Jacksonville game because Minshew let me down. It's actually the next morning. So yeah. All right, so let's go ahead, guys. I want to take a look at something real quick.
Alone.
Wait, what? Leave Britney what?
Leave Britney alone. When Britney Spears shaved her head when she was going through a mental break.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, did you guys know that's actually like a thing? Like the whole Free Britney thing? Have you guys seen that?
Yes.
Sure.
Yes, I have seen that.
Shout out
man,
TK.
that's creepy. All right.
I mean, she doesn't seem like she's within her full mental range of capacities when she talks because she's talking in a baby's voice and she's like, I just want to tell you some of my favorite colors. My favorite color is purple, and I love rainbows and sunshine. You're like,
Speaking of toxic,
I just discovered it the other day. So
okay.
all right, so guys, I do want to talk about something real quick. Let's go ahead and dive into actual fantasy football because it's been a very interesting season thus far, right? Like I wrote in the preseason how I didn't expect to see like a massive increase in points, scored due to COVID and not having an off season as a result, of not having a preseason, not having OTAs. And, at first look, like at first glance, it looks like I was dead wrong. But then I actually dove into it today and I spent a lot of time. Like I'm exhausted right now because I literally spent so much time trying to figure this out and why I didn't see this coming. But really what happened was it was like the perfect storm of really bad defenses that also have excellent offenses, both matching up together like multiple times over the first few weeks. I mean, just this past week, we saw the Seahawks and Cowboys. We saw the Lions and Cardinals. We saw the Titans and the Vikings. We saw Green Bay and the Saints. And yes, I'm including the Saints because they're bottom 15 in passing yards allowed and third in passing touchdowns allowed. So, I mean, listen, like there's bound to be, like you just said, fireworks, Bo. Like there's bound to be explosions happen when you have these kind of matchups that have happened over the first few weeks. So as a result, we've seen actual, point totals in Vegas with their over-unders go way through the roof. Like I think Vegas has like 6 or 7 point totals that are over like 50. Which is, pretty crazy.
And Chase, the betting public is driving up games too. So it's both. Vegas this week did catch up and they priced games up, but then like the Cincinnati Jacksonville game's been bet up like 4 or 5 points. Like that's a lot of points to move a line. There's both of those defenses are not great, and so I think what you're seeing is kind of what you said. Earlier, the offenses it's a perfect storm of capable offenses in a passing friendly league with terrible defenses, just like god-awful defenses.
Lots of injuries in the secondary, too.
Yeah.
It's been massive.
Yeah.
Oh,
Even your starting secondaries would have some trouble getting started, especially when tight hammies everywhere, and now you got backup corners going against some of these offensive schemes, and you stand no chance to slow them down.
Kenny Galladay.
You're ruining the show sheet.
I like him a lot.
So I think we do have at least one more week of this, right? Where it's going to be a bunch of high-scoring matchups because we have the Saints and the Lions, and the Saints secondary is completely obliterated. The Lions obviously don't have a good defense, and both those offenses are, feasible. The Saints a little bit, less than the Lions, but the Lions now in full swing with Kenny Galladay coming back, of course. And then we have the Vikings and the Vikings and the Texans, right? Who both have very, very good offenses, especially behind the running game with the Vikings. We have the Dolphins and the Seahawks both have absolutely brutal defenses. Meanwhile, those offenses can take off. And I am including the Dolphins for having a very good offense because they put up 59 points over the past 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Who did they play? Remind me who they played.
We had Jacksonville as one, and who was it? The Patriots was week 1, right?
Yes.
I don't remember who they played week 2, but I'm pretty sure it was a decent team.
It was the Bills. They played the Bills.
Yeah, it was the Bills.
Close game into the second half of the third quarter before the Bills kind of put them away at the end, and they were scoring. I mean, they had points. Gaskin has been coming on. I like it.
Yeah. All right. So then we have the Cardinals and the Panthers. Both have decent offenses overall. Mike Davis looks like he's there for good, and he's going to do what he did with what was it, the Rams back a year or 2 ago, 2 years ago, I think.
For one more week.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with that, but at least for this week. Yes. We have the Bills and the Raiders. Both those offenses are clicking, and I'm including the Raiders because the Raiders scored 68 points over the first 2 weeks. They struggled up against the Patriots, but everybody struggles up against the Patriots.
Yeah.
Except for the Seahawks. yeah. And then you have the Browns and the Cowboys, which is going to, I feel like that's bound to be some sort of shootout, to be honest with you.
Well, and then we're not going to camp out in this game because I'm sure we'll talk about all the games
we are going to cover those.
Of course, right. But I'll just say that game, it's going to be a battle of styles. You have a run-heavy Stefanski offense that wants to control the clock, and then you have the fastest pace of play, in the new Mike McCarthy analytics era where they're passing the ball, they're moving the ball, they're quick, they're 3 seconds faster than everybody else.
Don't give McCarthy any credit for any of that.
Well, you know what? He went to the barn. He went to the farm with all his little boys, and they sat around him and a bunch of 60-year-old bros, and they watched film, and they realized analytics was the wave of the future.
Analytics is king, man.
They're like, hey, Kellen, what do we know about going faster? Hey, Kellen. And Kellen's like, we should go faster. All right, let's do it.
Let's go. Throw it to the other fast guy. Get another fast guy. Do a fast thing. Fast. So.
Oh, man.
Don't give McCarthy any credit for anything. He's terrible.
Hey, by the way, D Brown just put up hot bucks, up. I mean, who's leading the hot box right now in points and wins? Do we know? Is there somebody?
It's some clown named Scott Simpson.
Oh, but I'm going to get my tail smacked this week because I got Rosalie. She's going
to destroy you.
I'm not making a bet with her like I am with Jen. Me and Jen have a drinking bet. Whoever loses has to shotgun a drink. I know I'm going to lose to Rosalie. I'm not going to do something with her because she's going to crush me. She is the she's the
I had Rosalie week 1, and it was a literal pimp slap. I got beat by 40 points. It was gross.
I haven't even looked at it.
It's going to be bad. Rosalie's she's going to crush me. But
am I sucking at that? My face was numb for the entire podcast. So the entire draft.
Yeah, hot box is
that's coming in hot. There's a lot of on this. Yeah,
I'm in a close second with Stoner in the coming in hot. So.
Yeah. I'm down the bottom of coming in. I'm not hot.
The deep V. All right, guys. So back to fantasy for a second. Try to get back into this, and I will get back to the comments here in a second, guys. But I want to make sure the show keeps moving. We have stacks on stacks on stacks on stacks on stacks this week.
I love them. Love all the stacks.
There is so many different variables, so many different guys that can go off this week, and it kind of makes me want to pivot off of a heavy game stack and kind of share the love. Instead of playing both Metcalf and Lockett, with Wilson, I might just play one of them and play Stephon Diggs instead, in that other wide receiver role, because I feel like it's kind of getting to a point where, these receivers that we know who they actually are now because we're 4 weeks into the season, we know who to gravitate towards. And I went there and Adam Levitan over there at Establish the Run. I actually read one of his articles today when I was trying to do some research for something. And he said top 10 lineups for the Millie Maker, contest used a QB and 2 of his teammates 41.2% of the time. Meanwhile,
stacks
yeah.
win.
So I mean that's sexy, right? But meanwhile, the field only did this 28.9% of the time. I've always believed in playing two of the guys with the quarterback, whether it's the running back and the wide receiver, whether it's the tight end wide receiver, or whether it's 2 wide receivers, or even the running back and tight end. I've always been a believer that you try and double stack. But then I saw this number, right? In terms of single stacking, one teammate, with the QB, the top 10s that finished in the Millie Maker lineups, and this is over 452 contests, single stacks, they did it 49.1% of the time. Right? So the field also did it 49%, but it actually worked out better if you only stacked up one guy with the quarterback and not did a double stack. The double stack was 41.2, the single stack was 49.1. So I think that now with us moving in the season, we always learn lessons, right? We always learn and trying to adjust and get better at DFS. DFS is a constantly evolving, a new thing for our industry, so we're trying to figure out the best way to do it. So how do you guys feel about doing single stacks?
I want clarification on that stat because I mean, if you look at it, I don't think 90% of all your lineups are going to have some kind of stack. I think you're looking at the people who single stacked are also majority double stacking. If you have 40 something and 40 something, we're talking about a very high percentage of lineups with stack.
Yeah, so that's not with a single stack because let's see, in terms of quarterback with 3 teammates, the top 10s did it 3.3% of the time. And then, what is it? The rest of them, pretty much none of them did it with more than 3 teammates.
Yeah, so your percentage goes down the more, single stack, you had 49%? And then out of that percentage, you probably had a lower percentage that also added another teammate. So your percentage is skewed that way.
So
everybody had at least a single stack.
The way that I'm looking at it is you have, 90.3% in a single stack or double stack. And that extra 3.3% is going to be a triple stack, which is going to put it up to 93.5 or 93.6.
Okay.
So then that other, 6.4% would have been no stack at all and run it out solo. So I think that a single stack is actually more efficient than running a double stack.
I mean, it's pretty close, though. I mean, it's
very close. It is very close.
If it's that close, you can't really, with variance, say week to week that one is better than the other if they're that close. I would say that a double stack, if you nail it, is more effective, but it's harder to nail an entire lineup with a single stack because then you're looking at other variants from other games. So yes, if you hit a single stack and you also hit on everybody else in your lineup build, then yeah, of course you're going to win. But a double stack, if you nail it and you're talking almost as the same percentage of success. I mean, you're easier. It's easier to scope down on a single game and then stack it and win.
I think we lost everybody. Nobody wants to hear the analytics side of things. They just want people.
Bye.
Give them the winners. Who are the winners?
We want to know who to play.
We're going to get off that analytics side of things. And we're going to hop into the players. So please, if you're on Twitter, go back out and share that we're talking about players now and not analytics, because I think we lost everybody. All right. So let's go ahead and dive into this and talk about some of the actual, stacks that we want to go with this week, because there are some great ones. We're going to start out with the Stafford, Galladay, and Kamara stack. That's going to be my first one. I think it's the juiciest one of them all. If you want to try and do that, if you want to try and pick 2 guys up, then I think that Hawkinson is actually the way to go. I also like Swift as well. I like Swift a lot more before I found out that Lattimore and Janoris Jenkins and Michael Thomas and Jared Cook are out. But I mean, Swift's so much more efficient than Peterson. I don't get what's going on over there.
Matt Patricia is what's going on. He's terrible, and he doesn't know how to put the ball in talent hand.
he LeGarrette blunted his team at the start of his team. I mean, what?
What?
He brought in LeGarrette Blount to his backfield, and it was just a terrible backfield. It was not. It was his first year as the Lions head coach, and it was abysmal. It was terrible. That's why they drafted, Johnson. And so it's not been good there as a running scheme since Barry Sanders left. Let's just be honest. They have struggled as an organization to figure out how to run the football, and I think that they've wasted this. I saw a stat somebody tweeted out. How do you find your RB1? And they said, Kerryon Johnson, second round pick. Then they had Swift, second round pick. Then they had Adrian Peterson signed off the street. And I think that just kind of shows you that run game is boom or bust. So I like that call on Swift. If it's a shootout and they're throwing it, then he's the running back that you want to have back there. I don't think they're going to try to game control the clock in this game. It's going to be a wild affair. I feel like you're going to get 145 plays in this game. You're going to get a 42, 35 or 33. It's going to be, I feel like Marvin Jones is a sneaky little play. Like Marvin Jones can go for 2 touchdowns this week and backdoor. So maybe this week, if you do target a game and this is the game you target, then you double stack. Then you Galladay, Hawkins.
Give me Stafford all fucking night.
He is cheap as dirt, and man, I really like him.
900 for Stafford. He's going to chuck it 50 times.
No, he is, and his value.
Oh, yeah,
his value's there. He's underpriced. 5,900 is in the Mitchell Trubisky section. I mean,
not much more than Nick Foles.
No. Teddy Bridgewater's is a little bit less. Come on, man.
Stafford's in a spot to smash. I think the bottom quarterbacks, like the cheapest ones, are like 5,400. I think that
Mullins.
are starters.
Yeah.
Okay, Mullins is. Where's Mullins at?
54, I think.
Okay, yeah. So I think that's Ryan Fitzpatrick too, which we're going to talk
Mullins,
about here in a little bit.
Yeah.
Mullins is at 50. I think Mullins is at 5,200. Unless.
Ooh, that's even better.
Yeah, I mean,
we're talking Detroit and New Orleans, right? Right, yeah. Chase. That's what the show sheet says. We should follow the show sheet.
Yes, we will get back to that. We're going with the show sheet. So
Stafford, baby.
So Lattimore and Jenkins are both out, which we just talked about, right? Yeah. And last year, I was shadowing, I guess, PJ Williams, because anytime that PJ Williams, like a slot receiver, went up against PJ Williams, I was playing that slot receiver in DFS, and I won a lot of money doing it
every time.
Nice.
I mean, he was that guy to target. So he actually lost his starting spot last week. He only saw 8 snaps. Safety Gardner Johnson actually took over for him. And now he gets thrust after losing his job. He gets thrust right back into the starting role. And I think that he's probably going to match up against Galladay. I mean, we're not sure exactly who. We're not exactly sure who's going to match up against who with Patrick Robinson and PJ Williams. But I don't think it really matters either way.
I smell a mossing.
Yeah,
there's going to be at least 2 mossings. That's my bold prediction. Is there an over-under on statementgames.com? Because if there is, you guys need to play that one.
Galladay over.
Yeah.
But yeah, go head over to statementgames.com. By the way, guys, it's free to sign up. You don't need a credit card or anything like that. It takes 2 seconds to sign up. And go play the New England Patriots and the Kansas City Chiefs game. That's going to be my game. You're going to see my little logo next to it with Fantasy Intervention. Go sign up and play that. It's free and you win money. This week there's a $50 bonus, put on top. So.
Well, let me just say this: if you think you can beat me in prop and over under, jump on in because I'm in there too, and it'd be great. You can brag on your friends. You can say, "I beat that 5K douchebag looking Blues Traveler loser," and make that make you feel good on Monday morning. You walk into office building, there's no one there. You got your mask on. You're just like, yeah.
If you think you like craft beer, Scott will tell you it's played out.
Well, and then I'll drink local beer that was just, poured into a sack. And I just not. This is actually Brookville. It's a really great brew. This is the Holgen Kolta. It's a German Oktoberfest.
Is that the official beer of that angry cyclist that beat up those kids?
Ooh, I saw that. No.
It's going to be over. All right. So let's get back to the show sheet. I have to. Do you guys like herding cats? I swear to God. All right. They have. All right. So The Saints have given up as well. Like, I want to go back to Hawkinson. The Saints have already given up 4 touchdowns on 29 receptions and 290 yards to the tight end position so far this year.
Not good, Bob.
The next closest team is the Falcons, who have allowed him as 50 or over 50 yards less. It's actually 52 yards total.
To be worse than the Falcons at something like that.
They've allowed more yards to the tight end than the Falcons by 52 yards. The difference is 14 yards more than what the Colts have allowed this entire year.
To everybody.
To everybody, to all 3 teams.
Combined,
right.
Hawkinson's going to smash. Hawkinson is going to smash.
Oh, yeah.
We're not trying to double stack. We're trying to get off a double stack, but I think this might be a situation where we have to double stack.
Man, you got to do it. You got to double stack. You got to double stack.
And of course,
you know how I feel about it. It's always a double stack.
The chalk play. The chalk play, right? That is going to smash here, and I don't care how many people are going to play it. I don't care if he has 99% ownership. I think you have to play Kamara. The Lions are allowing 6 yards per carry and 10 yards per reception to the running back. That's ridiculous.
And that's even after they kind of bottled up Kenyon Drake.
I got a football boner now. Thanks, Jake. That's ridiculous.
Dude, that's 6 yards per carry and 10 yards per reception. No Michael Thomas.
That's
right?
2 points a touch.
No Jared Cook.
1.5 a touch. What are you talking about? That's crazy.
Drew Brees has one of those little chips in his head that tells him after 2 seconds of dropping back, 41, throw it to 41. Yeah, it's automatic.
Last week they showed Alvin Kamara doing his ballerina type routine in the season
with the color thingy.
Oh man, I'm salivating. And then they show it up with his touchdown run as he's going through blockers, and you're just like, this guy is playing a different game, and I love it, Chase. I think you have if everybody in the world played him, you have to play him. You have to play him. He's going to be.
How long did it take us to understand that Christian McCaffrey, until he got above 10K, wasn't a play every single week?
Every time. If
I
play, don't play Alvin Kamara, don't play fantasy football. I mean, don't play DFS this week. If you don't play
Kamara every week from week 4, 2017 through week 17 of 2018, I played Kamara every week, and I didn't lose very much. It was it's just an easy proposition. The guy's a PPR monster.
Yeah.
Kamara's the answer this week. I mean, I might have one lineup without a minute just to be contrarian, but honestly, I'm playing him in most lineups.
And you might even do another. I'm not sure if you come back with Smith or if you put Sanders or what you do, but maybe you put another Saints receiver in there too if you want to be really unique, because that game is going to go nuts. And I think Kamara goes nuts, but there's somebody on that other side who's going to have to get the ball because they can't give him 55 touches. So I think Smith is the guy who's going to see increased target volume. And his price is low.
I wouldn't go Sanders. I think Sanders is going to see coverage from Okudah and probably a safety over the top. So I'd probably go Traquan.
Traquan for sure, because Sanders is in that Z position. We've covered that a lot, where it's just Breeze does not look for the Z unless nothing is there.
Right. And Sanders is only, or Traquan Smith, sorry, is only 5,000. So I mean that's
cheap.
Yeah. That's cheap on DK. So
I know Chase loves Adam Troutman too, so we're gonna talk about.
We're gonna cover that towards the tail end, but I wanted to save that one. Wanted to save it. All right, the Vikings and the Texans.
Yeah.
What is wrong with Bill O'Brien? Why is he not running the freaking ball? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me.
David Johnson, of course.
David Johnson is. I don't like David Johnson. I'm not a David Johnson fan, but he's gonna get Watson killed. Joe Burrow's the only quarterback to get sacked more times than Watson. And Watson is like he's just gonna get crushed. And I love Watson. I don't want this to happen.
So good.
It's so sad. It's so sad to watch him get crushed week after week. I mean, what did he take 5 sacks last week up against the Steelers?
And way more hits too.
Well, God. TJ Watt was his daddy on Sunday.
Bud Dupree too.
Yeah, they did an NFL Films brother versus brother thing with JJ and TJ. Hilarious, because all that JJ does is complain and whine and talk shit about his brother, and all TJ does is go, man, I think my brother was held on that play. I think he should have gotten a call. And all JJ does is go, he's offsides. Look at 97. Look at 97. He's offsides. Whatever. Never he's yelling out 90. Whatever. He's just being a jerk the whole time. And it's hilarious because at the end, the Steelers win and the Houston Texans can't score anymore. And but I digress. Here's what I think is going to happen this week. If Will Fuller plays, then you are going to probably play Deshaun Watson more so than if Will Fuller does not play. I cannot play him.
I think he's playing. I think he's likely to play.
He is, but he's a ticking time bomb.
Yeah.
They should never ever remove him from that questionable tag from him. Like he should be like
That makes me
stamped
so sad.
easy A stamp right here. I'm questionable with a hamstring tightness every week, no matter what.
So good though.
But he doesn't play. And so I'm going to play Watson naked this week a lot. I might even throw in Jordan Akins, but I'm not going to play Fuller because I can't trust him.
So we got to get to the stack, though. We got to get to the stack before we break it down, all right? The good news for David Johnson, right, because he might actually get some looks this week, is the Vikings have allowed 2 consecutive 100-yard rushers and 4 touchdowns so far this season. Both defenses, right, have been really bad. So it's an unusual stack. I got a really, really unusual stack here. But I'm going to Deshaun Watson, David Johnson, and Dalvin Cook.
Okay.
What do you guys think?
I like Cook. I like Cook to get the ball a lot. That offense does not have anything. The only concern I have at all is if the Texans get out to a big lead and then they can't run the ball as much on Minnesota's side. This is what happens. It's really silly. I don't understand this. And you see coaches who stick to their game plan, even if they do get behind, whatever it is, they're going to run the ball. They're going to still like own the clock. They go, oh, we're down by 2 scores. We better change our game script and mess up our whole thing that we've been practicing. And
that's what Bill O'Brien's been doing this year. And I like Bill O'Brien as a coach.
Right. But it can happen on the other side too, because, Mike Zimmer, I'm not going to say he's not a great coach, but he's not a great coach. Let me put it that. He's not a great coach.
He's a very good coach.
He's a good defensive coach.
He's a defense.
And his defense sucks this year.
Right, his defense is terrible.
They're rebuilding that team, and I think they recognize that, by the way.
Well, here's the problem, is that he needs to take the wheels off and have more deep throws from Kirk Cousins. He needs more rollouts. He needs more design plays to get him into positions to throw the ball downfield to Justin Jefferson.
That's not him. He's not the one calling plays. It's Kubiak. And Kubiak's actually really, really good. I was huge on Kirk Cousins this year because I like Kubiak's play calling style. I just think that Zimmer is actually limiting him and saying, hey, I don't throw it this drive. Like, you get 2 throws this drive. That's it. Pick them well.
Right. And
give it to Cook every play.
Yeah, Kirk will do something stupid and not throw the ball away and get walloped. And take a terrible sack because I live in DC, right outside DC in the suburbs. And so does Mr. Chase in Virginia, close enough. We watch Kirk Cousins as a Washington football team. Yeah, right. We're on the corner.
We've covered this, Chase. Come on.
I forgot. I was probably drunk.
Anytime. But anyway. We watch Kirk Cousins. We know who he is. If he is dropping back to pass and he knows he's dropping back to pass and the game script is he's coming from behind and he has a soft defense, he can be okay. But in a game where he's got to go tit for tat, he's not tit for tat. He's a Blake Bortles wannabe. And
without the mobility.
Yeah, I'm not into Kirk this week, so I won't have him in any lineups on that side of the ball at all. But Deshaun, I think, is a good play. And I do think he throws all over them. If Fuller's out, Brandon Cooks is cheap. I mean, how much money do you think Brandon Cooks is, by the way? Just, off the top of your head, if you don't know, how much do you think he is?
I know, so I won't say.
Okay.
I'll take a wild guess at it. I'll say 56.
Yeah. Minus 1,100, and you'll be there. So he's at
holy shit.
Right. So I think there's little sneaky plays in this game if you're looking tournament or GPP. If you're going big upside, Brandon Cooks could be a bust out candidate. I'm not trusting him in cash or in 50-50s. I'm not doing that. But if you're going wild style and you want to put a little back end cheap stack in your flex, Brandon Cooks, you could do worse. At 4,500, you could definitely do worse.
I like it. I like it.
Great play.
I still like Will Fuller though more. But either way. Yeah. I feel like Deshaun Watson. So no receiver last week got over 5 targets, and it was, I think Will Fuller was tied with Brandon Cooks. So like Bo said, and Cobb, yeah. So like Bo said, like rolling him out naked isn't a bad idea, but I kind of like the idea of rolling him out with David Johnson. I think that the Minnesota Vikings actually are a better team overall, although they've been very leaky in their secondary, just because they've had a bunch of new players there and they need to, get cohesive with that unit. But I honestly feel like David Johnson is going to be involved in the passing game, and I feel like there's going to be enough big plays here. Where is it? I think, where do I have my information?
Yeah, I'd
Okay,
say
the Texans.
nothing.
The Texans have allowed the most big plays so far this year to the running back position in the NFL. I think they've allowed 18 big plays to happen. So we just saw James Conner go off. He had over 6 yards of carry. I think it's a smash play for both running backs this week. And although it's weird because I'm playing Deshaun Watson too, that could be a tournament lineup that could actually crush it for you.
I like it. And let me just give you a little bit, just a tiny bit more context. This last week, Bo McBigtime himself was on the Connor train, which I loved. And I jumped on that Connor train as well. And Connor had, I believe it was 29.7 fantasy points on DK against that same Texans D. So Dalvin Cook, I believe, is a better running back than James Conner. It doesn't mean he's going to get an equivalent share, but it does portend to good. It foreshadows to a nice little Dalvin Cook if they can go back and forth. What I want in this game is 10-7, 14-10, 17. No, but building. And that's not the final score. I'm saying.
Okay, yeah.
Like at the end of the first quarter, it's 10-7, and then the end half, it's 21-14, and then you get into the end of the third quarter, it's 28-24, and and Dalvin Cook has got 2 touchdowns and 115 yards and 6 catches for 20 yards. That's what they need to do if Minnesota has a chance to win. Screen games, throwing the ball to Dalvin Cook, getting the ball to your best players in space. I like Kubiak, but I think you're right. Zimmer has ruined that whole offensive flow. Like, it's like basketball. When you're hitting your shot, they're not hitting their shot yet. And maybe this Justin Jefferson awakening allows them to hit more of their shots, but Dalvin Cook's the man. You got to give him the ball. He's got to get at least 25 touches in this game if you have a chance of winning at all. So
I was on Dalvin last week too, and pretty heavily so. And he had 180 yards. And what are you gonna do to slow that down when you have the Texans defense that gives up all those big plays? Guess what Dalvin Cook is? He's a walking big play. And he's going to get plenty of volume. And if you had volume to a guy that's that explosive in the open field, I'm calling it. He's going to be huge this week again.
Shout out my wife. She just came and brought me a beer. She knows I'm in a podcast. I gave her a little text on the
MVP.
That's awesome.
MVP.
A great woman. Shout out my wife. She beat me in 1-on-1, 5-3 today. I got to say, I was a little worried about tearing an ACL, pulling an Achilles. I was in sandals, rainbow sandals.
Were you playing on the MetLife Stadium turf?
No, it was a hard court. My wife got a basketball because she's a cool person. She's like, let's go play some basketball as a family. London was shooting hoops. London hit 2 shots. It was really a fun time. So she was my wife, got me another beer. So
yeah, that's for taking your lunch money today.
Guys, we're on pace for a 6-hour podcast right now.
Yes.
Just saying. I just been scrolling. We're on pace for a 6-hour podcast.
Coast, I can do this for that long.
I know, but people are never going to listen to us. That's the thing. We're losing listeners by the second. So
the real ones will.
What's the next game? Bring up the next game. Let's get
all right. We got Seattle Seahawks and the Miami Dolphins, and this is one of the ones that people were, people are questionable about. But the Dolphins have scored, 59 points over the past 2 weeks. And like I said, I'm actually going to shock some people. Instead of going with Russell Wilson in this one, I'm actually going to take Fitzpatrick.
I like it.
Fitzpatrick is 5,400, right? And Seattle, they're most likely going to be up, and they're most likely going to put up a ton of points on them. But I think they're going to start to have to do it through the running game. The Miami Dolphins are going to have to keep up through the passing game because the majority of the time they'll probably be at least 10 points down. And playing, up against the grain. And normally I don't like garbage time points and trying to guess, garbage time points because there's a reason why they're down in the first place. But I don't know, man.
A stat that might help you feel better about this play. Since week 10 last year on DraftKings, the highest scoring quarterback is Ryan Fitzpatrick.
I love it.
Right? You only know that because you look just like him.
That's my guy. That's my my brother in arms of beards and hair and so he's the top play in the last 7 weeks of the season last year and through the last 10 weeks. Ryan Fitzpatrick as the QB1 on DraftKings, 5,400. Man, I think it's a smash, Chase. I love it. And if you're trying to diversify, go for it. Bo's saying no.
So let me tell you guys this too. With the Seahawks. they've had, well, actually, let me actually erase what you guys just heard. Forget what you guys just heard. 46 for 126 and 2 touchdowns. That sounds like a Derrick Henry stat line for running back, right? 46 attempts, 126 yards, 2 touchdowns. I swear he's put up that stat line before.
Well, how about this? Shaquille Griffin is giving up as just as a DB 17.7 fantasy points per game. Wait, Quentin Dunbar and Flowers in the second role, they're giving up 22.8. Oh, wait, it gets better. If you got Amadi or Blair, whoever's in there at the slot, they've been getting up 23.2 points. So I mean, you combine all of those, and let me just do my math here: 23 plus 17, 40, 63 points to wide receivers a game. I don't think that they're going to get 63. I think some of those are going to go to tight end and Mike Gesicki, and
he's the wide receiver. But you just ruined my point. I didn't even get to make my point because you took over. Damn it!
Can I rebut this because I'm fading this entire game?
Damn it! Let me get through my point. The 46, the 126, and the 2 touchdowns is actually what the Seahawks have allowed to the running backs so far this year. Myles Gaskin, who I love, is not going to be a thing this week. And the craziest thing about this is the fact that they've actually allowed under 5 yards per reception on 18 receptions so far and no touchdowns to the running back in the air. Zeke went 7 for 19 in the receiving game last week. Gaskins, for me, is out this game. So that's why I like the wide receivers so much, and I'm going to love the air yards as well.
I'm off Miami this week. A lot of things that go into this matchup. Seattle's played some of the toughest passing offenses that we've seen all year. They've been torn up for sure, but they played the Cowboys, they played the Patriots, and Cam Newton tore them up with Julian Edelman, who was finding holes in that zone. I don't see Fitz doing that. I don't think he's that good. He's played some cupcake defenses. His numbers look great. Seattle's numbers look bad for the same reason. The competition leading up to it. I just don't see Fitz doing anything other than becoming one-dimensional because of the run game being out of play. And he's going to turn it over at least 3 times. I'm calling it over 2 picks for Fitzpatrick this week. And I see the Seahawks winning this by at least 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, but if he gets 4 touchdowns, it's like the equivalent of having 3 touchdowns.
I don't think he might have 1. And I'm playing Parker this week. Parker is one of my hot plays, but I'm not trusting Fitz this week. He's going to be forcing the ball down the field. Like you said, I just don't think he's going to be that effective.
I personally, I love Isaiah Ford, who I'm going to talk about, in the sneaky plays or the flyers later. But my stack is actually Fitz with Preston Williams and Tyler Lockett. I love DK Metcalf a lot. I do.
Lockett's the volume though.
Well, that's what concerns me. So I went back and forth. This tore me up. This tore me up so much because Byron Jones is going to be out most likely. I think he's listed as doubtful. Lockett, he gets the volume like you just brought up. So I wanted to go Lockett, but DK Metcalf is going to face the replacement, which is that rookie. I can never say his name, so I'm not even going to try. And I don't know. The difference is only 200. And I keep on going back and forth, because I know that the Seahawks are going to score. But what if they get a big-time lead early, right?
Yep,
and all it takes is 2 plays from DK Metcalf, and then they run the shit out of it. Mm-hmm. But for is that going to be enough for tournaments? Like, if he puts up 2 touchdowns on 2 receptions for 60 yards, I mean, that's good, but that's not phenomenal. So Tyler Lockett, who actually does really, really well as slot, I just can't. Like, I'm very, very torn between Lockett because I don't know if he's going to get the targets. I don't know if Russell Wilson's going to throw it 35 times. I don't know if he's going to throw it 20 times, to be honest with you.
I'm off this game completely. Because of the reasons I mentioned earlier. I'd see this as getting out of hand early, and I think even if the Seahawks aren't like as good as they've been running the ball, because Carson's banged up and Hyde's banged up, you can see Travis Homer break off a couple 15-yard runs, and they're just going to lean on the clock like they have been in years past. I think the Seahawks get back to what they're known for, which is grinding the game down, because they could get up 17 and the Dolphins turn the ball over a couple times, and that game is a wrap. And you're going to be way under the total. This game just doesn't appeal to me. I just think there's too much of a chance of the Seahawks getting up and then just grinding clock, and I don't like it.
I don't know, man. I really like Williams as well. I mean, watch Gallup. get up. We
Williams
watched Edelman
hasn't
get up.
been there this year. He's been a ghost. He had that one touchdown, and then where was he?
He's been dealing with minor injuries, and then also he's been facing some actual tough matchups. But we've watched his second receiver in this offense. I mean, in the other offenses that this defense has faced, Gallup, Edelman, and Ridley go off.
Yeah,
so
they're great. They're great. Preston Williams isn't great like those guys are.
He's getting it, man. He's getting it. All right, let's move on to the next game. Cardinals and Panthers. Mike Davis crushed it last week, right? Teams they can't utilize the running back, as a whole up against the Cardinals because let's be honest, Cardinals are growing up on a lot of these teams, but they can use them in the passing game. They've allowed the 5th most receiving yards for the 9th least amount of targets and 2 touchdowns, by the way. So the efficiency's through the roof. Their yards per target are through the roof. Even when you neglect to target the running back like Washington did, which makes me sad because Washington Gibson could have like 100. Oh my God. It pissed me off so bad. He had 1 target for -1 yards in the screen pass. Gibson could have fucking put up like literally 100 yards in the air on that game out of the running back position and like 2 touchdowns, but they neglected to do it. I don't know why. What does Turner not actually, watch game film? Like what's going on?
No, you're talking about at least a dozen coaches in this league that are absolutely terrible. Like we could call a better game from our couch.
Yes, I do. Or we could pick the plays before they happen and you see them in real time and you go, oh, they're going to run a screen. Fuck. And then they run a screen and they tackle and you're like,
I wonder how the defense saw that coming.
Right.
Yeah.
So, Davis is going to be really chalky this week. Really chalky. Davis, and I still like him.
He's a great cash play.
He's a great cash play.
He's better for cash than he is for tournaments for sure. So my tournament stack is actually Kyler Murray and Isabella and Curtis Samuel if DeAndre Hopkins and or Christian Kirk does not play.
Well, I mean, I think Hopkins will suit up. He might be a decoy for Isabella. Yeah. I mean, I hate to go and trust Isabella after one huge performance, but I mean, it's looking like they're going to be looking his way more. And Kyler Murray, I mean, I'm at the very top of the Kyler Murray fan club.
Dude, I'm dumbfounded right now.
Yeah, I love Kyler Murray this year, and even if he's just trotting out there with 10 other regular grocery clerks, I'm taking Kyler Murray to splash at least 25 points on DraftKings. So it's just like go Kyler and then throw in whoever the hell else you want for a stack because it's going to be big. Carolina can't stop anybody.
No.
Well, so with DJ Moore, right? He's too chalk to play in tournaments. I mean, maybe in a couple tournaments, right? But I mean, DJ Moore, they did have who was it? Terry McLaurin, right, for Washington went off against them, and they've allowed some big plays, to one of the wide receivers. But I don't know if I'm playing him. I kind of like Curtis Samuel, right? He's getting the snaps. He's touched it 14 times in the past 2 games.
DJ Moore is going to be the chalk wide receiver that I do play in tournaments because that click that we were hoping for from between him and Teddy really started to take hold in that second half last week. DJ Moore has always been a crisp route runner. He's always open. Yeah. And up until the second half of last week, we saw a disconnect there where Teddy just wasn't in sync with him. And then all of a sudden, you saw big play after big play to DJ Moore because they finally found each other. And I think going the other direction against the Cardinals, they don't have anybody that can cover DJ Moore. And so give me
imagined someone running into your arms when you said that when they found each other.
Da, 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 da. Yeah, all I know is that Teddy B isn't that good for a fantasy play. I'm not going to be playing him in any games, but I'm going to throw DJ Moore in as many lineups as I can, regardless of whether it's cash or tournament. He's a smash this week. I'm not a huge Curtis Samuel fan.
What are you thinking, Scott?
This is a tricky thing because the routes that normally Robbie Anderson runs, the deep ones, those have been going to DJ Moore, and the kind of across the middle, the 15 to 10 yard route, they've been going to Robbie Anderson. And
really?
That's what's been kind of perplexing watching this offense. So I do lean towards, what Bo's saying. I do like DJ Moore this week. I think that his value is there because his price is down so much. I think that's the thing about all DK prices this week are kind of ridiculous on a bunch of people.
But they're so juicy. Oh my goodness.
They're really juicy. It's a real juicy week on DK. Almost to the point where it's too juicy. Like, you ever get to a party and there's so much beer or there's so much nachos or you don't know what to do. You're like overwhelmed. You're like, oh.
I can't relate, Scott. Nope, sorry, I can't relate.
Oh my god! I mean,
I can't either.
The whole bar myself, but
every party was like that at Chico State, so I can't relate.
I've had juicy fruit one time.
You just roll up your sleeves and get going, baby.
Right, but there's a limit, and that's the thing about.
No, there's not.
Well, no, in DK there is. Like, I would play a bunch of players if I could. So that's what we're trying to deal with. How you can squeeze those guys in and find those values. And so I think in this game, if you're going tournament. And, if you're looking somebody to kind of just, I don't know. I do like DJ Moore across the board, but tournament, maybe that Curtis Samuel is the play there if you're going for like huge upside, but I don't think it's going to be the best play. I think there's better.
Is upside really that big? I mean, we haven't seen it. It's like every 8 weeks we get a Curtis Samuel breakout.
This could be the week.
This could be the week.
Could be. He's due.
I mean, he's actually extremely efficient with his yards of separation per target. He's extremely efficient with what he does with the ball in his hands in most cases. I mean, he's 18th in the NFL in target separation. So it's a very sneaky play. So let's hop on to the next matchup, Bills and Raiders. The Raiders have 68 points of the first two, but struggled up against the Patriots, which was kind of expected. Mm-hmm. I feel like this could get a little sneaky, kind of like the Rams last week up agast the Bills.
Yep.
My concern with this game is Carr's weapons. We have Hunter Renfrow ready to roll, but it's gonna be
chalky
so
as
freaking
hell.
chalky. Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna do it anyways. I feel like I'm going Josh Allen, Diggs, and Renfrow as my stack here.
I'm doing the same thing, but I'm gonna switch to Waller. Waller had his 1 week against Belichick, who got schemed out of the game. And that's why Renfrow was so much. I mean, he was big last week because the Belichick said, "Hey, you're not going to target Darren Waller 14 times against me. So you're going to have to find the skinny white guy at a Clemson that can't run faster than a 4.6. Darren Waller is the guy, and Buffalo's linebackers and slot corners are all banged up, and that's your guy. He's going to go back up to his 10 plus targets. And guess what? In the open field, that dude is a gazelle. He is going to just munch all over that Bills defense.
You say gazelle and munch in the same one.
He's going to eat all that grass, baby.
I like it.
That's hilarious. Munch, crunch.
Yeah, Waller at 5,200 is going to outscore all the tight ends above him.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I agree. I think, but here's the thing: how chalky is that going to be in GPPs? I think in cash, he's a smash. It's almost like Waller. To me, it's Waller, Ravens, and I'm going to do DST stuff net, but Waller, Ravens, and Kamara. Those are the three that they're easy points. They're just crushing, like they're going to crush. So that's kind of where I'm starting a lot of my builds at, and throwing some Lions in there as well.
But a lot of guys are going to be on Kelsey now that he's back on the main slate. I'm banking on Kelsey being this big beacon of chalk because, I mean, even though he's the most expensive. Yeah.
That's a great – I love that.
It's like a bug zapper. Everybody's like, ooh, the Chiefs are back on the main slate.
Darren Waller's second behind Alvin Kamara and in front of DJ Moore for the ownership projections.
Okay. I'm not
so I don't I mean, it's something that you're going to have to get really contrarian with. Like an Andy Isabella type player, on the back end, if you decide to go that route.
Justin Watson, even I know we're going to talk about that later, but Justin Watson's a good contrarian play because of how injured the Buccaneers are. So,
well, what about OJ freaking Howard, man? What if someone wins something on him?
Good.
We'll go over that in a little bit. We're going over that in a little bit, but no, Josh Jacobs, right? Josh Jacobs is another guy I'm actually willing to play over Hunter Renfrow and over. Darren Waller. So, I mean the Bills have been subpar, and Jacobs been the focal point of that offense. Even if he is chalk, I like going chalk with my running backs, and there's actually stats behind it to where you can go chalk running backs and then get your wide receivers. So
diversify, right?
I don't believe the chalk on the Raiders. I think there's going to be other bigger fish to fry across the slate. I mean, you might project it. I've seen all the projections. They're really high on the Raiders for some reason. I mean, Bills' defense is still really good. In general, they're giving up points, but they're stingy. They create turnovers. Carr is not that good of a quarterback. I think a lot of people are going to be priced away from Waller and Jacobs. And so I think your ownership might surprise you. It might be lower than we're projecting.
All right, let's go to the Browns and Dallas because this is a big one, right?
Could be.
Terrence Mitchell, right? He's actually been really good so far, like really freaking good. I didn't
Are
like
there
Terrence
3
Mitchell
of them
before this.
Are there 3 of them?
He's actually one of my favorite corners to keep an eye on, by the way, moving forward, to avoid, for future matchups. The Browns are going to be in trouble if Denzel Ward is missing time with that groin injury. He's questionable, right?
Yeah.
If this is the case, right, you can see, Kevin Johnson coming in or Tavare Thomas. So both those guys are subpar people. Cooper, for the first time ever, is a lock for me, no matter what in lineups. I have a lot of Cooper, very similar to Kamara. Like, Cooper's going to be a lock. I need to pay close attention to the beat reporters because if Johnson stays in the slot, I'm probably not going to play as much as Lamb.
Yeah,
he's been healthy and he's been very solid in the slot so far this year. I know that there's stats of slot receivers going off against the Browns, but it's not as bad as it seems. Trust me, guys. My stack for this is Dak Cooper and Odell. What do you guys think?
I mean, this game is another one where I'm worried about a blowout, and so
the Browns blowing out the Cowboys.
Yeah, no. I think the Browns are going to try to run the ball, but the Cowboys defense is very weak on the back end, and they're pretty tough against the run. They bottled up Chris Carson pretty well. It's something that I'm worried about the Browns because if you put them in a 3rd and long situation all the game long where they're going to throw the ball because they have to catch up, Baker Mayfield's terrible. He's terrible under pressure. He's terrible on comebacks. He's very turnover prone already. You put him in that.
He's a QB1 in my book.
Yeah, but you put him in those situations. Yeah, if you put him in those situations, he's not good. And I still think that they're going to struggle against the Cowboys just because it's a bad matchup for the Browns. You can't have 3 Johnsons on the field covering all 3 of those wide receivers and Dalton Schultz and Zeke out of the backfield. It's just going to be one of those thumpings that we kind of regret playing that game, kind of like the Seahawks this week, where the Cowboys get out to an early lead and they just lean on Zeke and you never see the Browns offense on the field. And when they're going to throw picks.
That's a great point. So I actually compared this to the Seahawks Dolphins game in the show sheet. So I don't know if you read that.
I didn't read that part, but yeah, I'm glad you did.
Honestly, the Cowboys are there's so many different outcomes, first off, that can happen with this game. Browns could run the ball a ton. The Cowboys might not be able to it's just so many different outcomes. I'm not even going to go through them all. But with Jordan Lewis and Trevon Diggs over there, they're not good. They have both been abysmal. Like, they've both been really, really bad. And on the other hand, Worley, who's playing the slot, has actually been really freaking good, right?
He was just their late addition to the team, and they were like, "Oh, we don't really want to put him on the field yet because he's not in shape yet." And when that injury happened, they were like, "Oh, yeah, really? I guess you're all we have." And the guy balling out. And
he's been really good.
Diggs is going to be good, but he's so young and raw, and it's just he's not ready yet.
And that's on the Cowboys defensive side, of course. So I'm sitting there, right, and I'm looking, at the 2 touchdowns by Tyler Lockett out of the 3, right? 2 of those were in coverage up against the safety, super deep. They played zone. That wasn't on the responsibility of Worley. And normally Worley goes man-to-man, but for some reason they went zone last week because I guess they were getting abused. Yeah. And they could do the same thing this week, but honestly, like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I want to play Landry this week. Landry's actually in the chalk. Odell's in the chalk, but not as high up. Landry's really in the chalk.
Yeah.
Landry doesn't run those deep routes. Landry's a hook, hitch, out type guy.
I'm pretty sure there's some kind of force field past the 10-yard route for him. He's not allowed to. Yeah.
Very similar to Allen Robinson.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like, I don't like Landry this week. I really don't. I like Odell Beckham. I think Odell Beckham's a lock for me.
Yeah, there's a lot of better upside plays than Landry this week. He's going to get you 10 to 15, but that's not going to pay the bills.
If you want to play Hunt over Odell, I'm cool with that. Hunt should get, the looks.
Yeah, especially in catch-up time.
Well, he was questionable today.
I
So
was just about to say, but if he's out, then
Yeah,
Chubb's
be
a
careful.
smash.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Chubb's a
that's
smash play for me if Hunt is out. Like Chubb will have 95% of my ownership if Hunt is
all the
out.
carries, all the catches, all the targets. Yeah, it'll be.
Yeah, and speaking of big play waiting to happen, that's Nick Chubb.
Yeah. Well, if he does get to that second level against the Cowboys, then
It's
they're
over.
Game over.
and it's a game over. Right. So I mean, here's the thing about this.
We all three say the same thing.
Yeah, we did.
Game over.
Game over.
If he dies, he dies.
You know what? I was about to tweet that out today about something different, but I didn't want to give anybody the wrong idea and then have them misconstrue it. But it was about a fantasy football player, and it was more about if he dies this week, he dies. I think there's going to be a lot of variance in these games. We have this is what we do. We sit back, we think about a game script based on how teams have played against other teams, their strengths or weaknesses, what they excel at, their best star players, how it all works. Ooh, no, Diggs is questionable too. That's not good either.
He's a questionable option when he's playing. So,
Well, yeah,
He's quite. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. Even his replacement's going to end up shitting the bed anyways.
it's going to be bad. It's going to be, So but the game script does matter. And what's crazy is, let's say that you're in a game script where Zeke gets 2 touchdowns or 3 touchdowns, and they don't really have to throw the ball that much, and then they bring Tony Pollard in and he runs the ball, and maybe Dak throws for 220 and a touchdown, and it's an easy walk in the park. That could happen. I'd much rather see a back and forth tilt where your body blows. Odell gets a touchdown, Zeke gets a touchdown, and then a long run. I want it back and forth. That's what I want in this game.
yeah, I'm hoping Kareem Hunt suits up, and if he doesn't, obviously Chubb, and then Harrison Bryant, your other short yardage receiver besides the chalky Jarvis Landry.
Yeah.
Harrison Bryant's a pretty good option at tight end. Hooper is just terrible. Like, that guy is absolutely garbage. I mean, we saw Herndon shit the bed last night. Hooper and Herndon should be roommates.
Yeah,
It was Steve Sarkisian. I believe he's offensive coordinator for the Falcons, right?
Yep.
He loves his tight ends. That's who he goes with. So that's exactly why Hooper was going off. And I'm kind of surprised about Hurst this year, by the way, so far. But yeah, I don't like Hooper in the system. He's the Kyle Rudolph. He's the Kyle Rudolph of the system. Yeah. Kyle Rudolph will give you 5 starts a week tops, and you never know when that's going to be.
But think about it's an offense that features the tight end as a blocker. He's on the field for all the snaps, but he gets 5 targets a game. So yeah, you're going to run 20. You're going to run 12 personnel all game long with your 2 tight ends. And they're not going to be running routes. Your route percentage for those tight ends is so low. It's like everybody's licking their chops with Hooper in the preseason saying, oh, he's going to Stefanski. He's going to Stefanski. Well, guess what? Stefanski and Kubiak and all those guys that run the 12 all game long, they do it so they can block for running backs more. That's why Chubb is having such a great start to the year, because those guys are good blocking tight ends.
Right.
I like that. I like that a lot. All right, so let's hop over to some defensive stacks. I didn't go too much into detail with these because I kind of want to flat through them. They're kind of, we're really, really bad as a whole for DFS communities predicting who's going to be the top defense.
Not me. I've been nailing it. I'm on fire. I can't predict tight ends.
Good idea. We have a good idea, but as a whole, the DFS communities, we don't know when somebody's going to fumble. We don't know when somebody's having an interception. We rely off of opportunities, not off of born stats. So it's tough from week to week. So my first one is going to be Rojo, and the Tampa Bay defense up against the Chargers.
It's okay.
Rookie quarterback over there for the Chargers.
Rookie quarterback.
Decent. He's thrown 3 interceptions in 2 games, right?
So he's been putting up 300 yards a game and making shit happen.
Yeah, we're talking about fantasy here. We're talking about opportunities.
Points. They're scoring points in LA right now. And last time I checked, if you're saying, hey, the Chargers, we're going to score 25, 30 points against you, guess what? That's only going to get you 4 points on DraftKings if he doesn't turn the ball over. And if
he doesn't turn the ball over.
If he does, it's not going to give him that much more.
If he scores a touchdown.
Yeah, if you're scoring pick sixes, that's the best way to get it. And guess what? You target those quarterbacks that are going to throw pick sixes. And last time I checked, Herbert hasn't thrown any of those.
Yeah, he's only been in for 2 games, and he has 3 interceptions.
All the other quarterbacks have only been in for 3 games this year. I'm saying Herbert's not your target. because they're going to keep it close to the vest. They're going to run the ball. They're going to throw short routes. They're going to keep Herbert protected.
Yeah, he only threw 2 balls of 20 yards or more last week, by the way.
Yeah, I'm avoiding that quarterback when I'm picking a defense.
But out routes and stuff like that, man, like
They
those
don't run 'em.
are. I'm sorry. Yeah, they do. They run hooks and out routes.
Yeah, lots of hooks to Keenan Allen. Yeah, I get it. I
It
get
still
what you're
opens
saying.
up opportunity.
I just think you're going to score 5-6 points with your defense, and you're not going to be relying on them to push you over the top.
By the way, the Chargers have only scored with him in the game a total of 36 points in 2 games. That's not a lot. When you play teams up against the Chargers, you're actually getting 8-9 points minimum, and they have the potential for pick 6.
Yeah. Okay. You won't see me playing the Chargers.
18 points per game is what you're looking at, for defense, and they have the upside with 3 picks already.
Yeah, what's the average DK points per game for the Bucs defense? 6, 7?
I don't have that.
I have that. I can give
That's
you that.
important.
Yeah. So the Bucks are averaging 10.7. They've turned in performances of 0 the first week, but then the last 2 weeks they've come back with 14 and 18 respectively. So
that's huge.
Yeah, I do like the Bucks as a play this week.
That's huge. Like 18 points. That's insane for a defense.
Yeah, they got some good turnovers.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what you rely on for tournament plays.
Completely disagreeing with you. I'm just off them this week for a defensive play. I'm playing other defenses. They just have higher upside. We're talking about tournaments, right? I want that team that's just gonna just take over.
18 points.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Tampa Bay.
I don't see it happening.
Okay, so let's go to the next one then. JT and the Colts defense.
There it is. There it is.
The Colts defense are great. They got a nice look at Nick Foles. Nick Foles. Quarterbacks are always overrated when they come in, and once the team actually gets a prep for that quarterback,
the
next week we see big weeks, just like the Jets defense almost had until Melvin Gordon fucked up all of us.
Yeah.
He did.
Oh man, he fucked up all of us really bad.
This is the one though, because you have a Colts defense that is just so good against the pass, and the Bears are down to 1 running back that is any good at all. And Montgomery's not that good, but he's going to get a lot of carries.
Yeah.
Nick Foles was actually terrible last week, even though he threw 3 touchdowns and brought them back. But that's against Atlanta. And when you don't look that good against Atlanta and you get a lot of credit, you're going to have a lot of Nick Foles people saying, oh, look at that. Play the Nick Foles A-Rob stack. And I'm like, no, the Colts are going to shut you down. They're the ones that had a negative whatever number for Kirk Cousins in week 2.
I'm off the Bears this week.
I'm so far off the Bears; they're not even on my radar. We're talking the Colts might break 30 points on defense this week for DraftKings.
Well, think about this, right? The Colts defense is by far the number 1 defense
for good reason.
They're averaging 45. They're averaging. They have 45 points. They're averaging 15 points a game. And the first week they had 4, and the last 2 weeks 15 and 26. So yeah, I like them a lot. I actually think it's a little. They're priced down at 3,300, which is nice. I think one of the smash plays is the Ravens. I mean, I think this is one week where you do pay up for them, and maybe
I was about to bring that one up,
but yeah. Go ahead, Mr. Chase.
I didn't type it up at the show sheet, so you did not overstep your boundaries. But I didn't meant to type it up, and I completely forgot.
What boundaries?
We have probably the highest owned defense, by the way, this week.
Yeah.
It's going to be a chalk play.
Yeah.
Which is why I love the Colts so much.
The Ravens, the Ravens are scoring 12.3 fantasy points per game. The Colts are scoring 15. So the Ravens up against a very bad offensive line. We saw what they did to Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
It's going to be bad.
It's ugly. Yeah, the Ravens are a great play in a cash game. I'm just all over the Colts in tournaments because of that price and the ownership being slightly less. The Colts are going to tear Nick Foles apart.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if you play the Ravens.
So since we're still talking stacks, by the way, right?
Yeah.
Are you playing J.K. Dobbins? Or are you playing Mark Ingram?
Neither.
So that's a solo play. We're talking about stacks.
Yeah, that's why I like the Colts, because you can play JT. He's going to eat it up. He's going to get lots of volume. He's going to get receiving work. He's going to get lots of carries. We're talking about your ultimate quarterback or running back defensive stack with JT and the Colts.
So yeah, and I agree with you. But so I wanted to bring this up for stacking purposes. Washington's defense is missing out on Matt Ioannidis.
Yeah.
They're also missing out on Chase Young for a week or two, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Is he still listed as questionable? Or is he out?
I think he's out.
Yeah,
I think he's so questionable, but I mean, I think he's going to be out. And
Chase
I think
Young is out.
Yeah, and I really like that Dobbins play at 4,800. I think it's a sneaky play. He's at 9.9 points a game. That's a nice little play that you can stick in. Maybe he gets 2 touchdowns. Oh, maybe he gets 1. But I mean that's somebody in a tournament. Yeah, I like that. That's a nice shot at the moon there.
Yeah,
I kind of like Mark Ingram more as a contrarian play.
Yeah, I mean they're both great in a great system. It's just in a tournament, yeah, you're looking for that big splash 2 touchdown performance. Because I can't guess which one's going to get those touchdowns. I'm kind of leery of it. I mean, you're
going no.
But that's the whole reason that drives people off the ownership, right?
Yeah,
so I actually like Mark Ingram.
I have Dobbins in one tournament lineup, so I mean, I'm not totally against it. That's the lineup I have the Ravens defense in, as is my Dobbins.
Yeah, you're gonna play the defense anytime that you play either Dobbins, Edwards, who we'll talk about here in a little bit, or
and that's the sneaky thing about the Ravens is they haven't shown their cards with who they're going to feature in each game, but they have shown their cards with who gets the ball in red zone situations. But we lost Chase. Bye, Chase.
Hey, now we're running the show and
Hot Box Gourmet Small Batch Hot Sauce.
.com.
Possibly the most deliciously intense condiment on planet Earth.
I love that shit.
Hotboxbatch.com.
.com.
And go get your Hotbox merch at Viridian Global.
And go right now to nimblewnumbers.com and read Bo's article. I'm putting a new one up probably after the show that he wrote.
I just wrote it today, and it's even better than the one that we dropped yesterday.
I can't wait, Bo. You're going to control the whole weekend. You've already gotten over like 125 views, and I'm in. So, yeah.
So, Chase, I was just saying how the Ravens really showed their cards, because even if Ingram gets more carries in total, it's between the 20s. When they get down to that goal line situation, they're featuring J.K. Dobbins. Ingram's lone touchdown was that long run from the 50. So we're talking the Ravens are grinding out drives. They don't really want to do that, but they might have to. And you're looking at Dobbins having a higher likelihood of scoring those touchdowns because of his work inside the 20.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I just feel like, Ingram's always been the go-to guy. I think it's a contrarian play. All right, so let's hop on to some of these sneaky starts, because people are going to be off these guys for their prices mainly. Wait, can you do that again?
Sneaky plays.
All right, so sneaky plays, guys that are probably going to be, low ownership, although they're higher priced, or, guys that just don't have the ownership because people don't know about them. Austin Eckler is my first guy. He's actually a smart play.
Though? Smart play, yeah. It's not sneaky.
He's not on the ownership. He's not on the top 30 top 30 owned or whatever it is. You can't run on Tampa. You can't. Teams have tried. We saw Christian McCaffrey put up 38 yards in like week 3 of last year.
Their front 7 is really good,
but you can use them in the passing game.
Mm-hmm.
They've allowed him 9 yards per reception to the running back, and without Mike Williamson. Right, he's going to be out. I expect them to exploit that.
Isn't that what Eckler does? He catches a lot of balls out of the backfield.
He catches a lot of balls, man. He juggles balls, but he catches them. Ultimately quick at the end. Balls on balls. No, I mean, I expect Eckler just get a huge workload in the passing game. I expect the Chargers to be down. I expect.
It puts a smile on my face if you tell me to play Austin Eckler in a tournament. That makes me very happy, because now. I'm questioning myself because I played him so much already this year that I'm really mad at myself for not playing him this week. So I
think you should play him this week. Just once. Just once. I'm not saying that he's going to put up a massive game, but dude, if he takes 2 touchdowns to the house in the receiving game for 100 yards, would that shock you?
No, I love Eckler. Eckler is one of my preseason RB1s, and just that. I have Eckler all over my redraft, all over my dynasty teams that I started up this year. Give me all the Austin Eckler. And you telling me that he has low ownership this week just makes me so happy, because I love playing Austin Eckler on DraftKings where there's PPR.
PPR.
All right. Do you guys
That's 1
have
point per reception.
Do you guys have a running back before I bounce over to the next?
Give me Joe Mixon.
Really?
Mixon, volume play. Nobody's gonna want him, but him and Kenyon Drake are powder kegs because they're in volume situations for good offenses that are clicking. The Bengals offense hasn't been terrible. They've been on the field a lot. Joe Mixon's been the weak link because he's been running into a wall of defenders every time he gets the ball. I still think that there's a twinkle in Joe Burrow's eye where he wants to dump it off to Mixon about 5 times a game, and it just hasn't clicked yet. But that's gonna blow up one of these weeks, and that's a good matchup for the Bengals this week.
That's Jacksonville, by the way.
Yeah, give me Joe Mixon this week in a tournament because nobody's going to have him, and you're never going to see Joe Mixon priced below $6,000 again.
I'm a little bit nervous about this one, but I like it because it should be a very low-scoring game, in my opinion. I don't think Cincinnati blows them out, and I also don't think that Jacksonville can actually play with Cincinnati. I think it's going to be like a 14 to 23 type game, something weird scoring. I don't.
All you need is that touchdown. If you get a touchdown of Joe Mixon with 20 touches, you're going to be getting value.
Okay, I'll take that. Scott, you got an input?
Yeah, I got somebody who is probably going to be overlooked this week, and I think he's a sneaky little play at the RB position, and that is Mr. Darrell Henderson, Jr. He's going up against a weak New York Giants rushing defense. They love to pound the ball. They play fast. They get lots of plays in. This is going to be a game where they're going to be ahead. They're heavily favored against a terrible team. And so, I really like him for at least one touchdown this week. I think he can max out and get you that 20 points. And so he's hitting well above that 3 times value this week. So I really love him at 5,800.
I like him a lot for tournaments. However, for cash, I actually like Malcolm Brown. Malcolm Brown had a finger injury, that was nothing, but it kept him out. Listen, Darrell Henderson has the upside.
He's like, let me use my strong hand.
My hand.
But with Malcolm Brown, he vultured goal line carries from Todd Gurley. So
Todd Gurley in his arthritic knees.
Either way, it's goal line carries. So
that said something because Gurley has a nose for the end zone, whether he likes it or not.
Yeah, it's true. But I mean, like Malcolm Brown vultured goal line carries. So I still like Malcolm Brown for tournaments, but I feel like his ownership is going to be a little bit too high for me at his price. I love him in cash games. All right, on to the next sneaky play. Sneaky. Very sneaky, sir.
Sneaky.
All right, James Robinson up against Cincinnati. I feel like it's been really 10 days.
Chalky.
It's not. Right? Like I went to the charts. It's not a chalk play because they played 10 days ago. So all the hype. Yeah, I'm looking through it right now. I don't see a single play. The reason behind it is because they played 10 days ago. So the hype's off him. Nobody's talking about him. And
that's scary.
Nobody's talking about him. He's up against
30
Cincinnati.
points and nobody's talking about you?
Nobody. It's nowhere. Go look at Twitter. See if he's even close to trending. Go look at DFS.
Last time I checked, the Bengals can't stop running backs ever.
Yes, exactly.
So, I like James Robinson. I'm actually shocked that his ownership would be low because he just scored 30 points against the Dolphins.
His ownership's going to be nothing because Thursday night players, their ownership typically does not translate.
I like it.
Over to the next Sundays.
I like him better than Henderson now. Sorry, Scott.
And by the way, when it comes to ownership percentages from Thursday night players over to, the following Sundays, as long as it's not a superstar, like let's just say Josh Kelly, took over the leading role or whatever and scored 2 touchdowns, something like that went off. His ownership's going to be down on Sunday if he played on Thursday because of the fact that he's not a big name. And it's a regular thing. And people just forget about him. They like him, but they don't love him. It's not that recency bias. Yep. So, James Robinson for me is an absolute smash. I think he's a sneaky play. It's kind of like how you called Dalvin Cook last week. Yeah. Where his price was too high.
Hidden in plain sight.
Exactly. Hidden. That was the best way to say it. Hidden in plain sight.
What can I say?
All right. I got one for Sunday night's lineup that I just wanted to talk about. But if you guys have another running back, then bring them on.
I'm looking at my teams, and we've covered them all.
All right, so Sunday night's lineup, if you guys play, I don't ever cover Sunday night's lineup, never. But I wanted to bring up Sunday night's lineup because Sanders, right, after an okay week up against the Bengals, should absolutely smash.
Yeah,
he should have had more work, and it pissed me the fuck. I was so pissed. I'm
what
sitting there
the
yelling at
hell
the TV.
were they doing?
They were having Carson Wentz pass to nobody. That's what they were doing.
Wentz can't throw the ball. He's terrible.
He's terrible.
Terrible. And Miles Sanders
Especially.
is not terrible, and the Bengals can't stop the run. And what are we going to do? We're going to drop Carson Wentz back to throw the ball into the ground 40 times.
Without an offensive line.
Idiot.
Yeah, Miles Sanders averaged over 5 yards per carry last week. It pissed me the fuck off.
It's the Bengals.
He finished with 95 yards.
He had 10 touches in 3 quarters, and I was like, what is going on? Am I in Bizarro world right now? Give Sanders the ball.
The fact that he saw 8 targets, just to put the cherry, cherry on top, and half weren't even accurate, right? He was thrown in the ground and stuff. So if they can actually design, the right plays for
the game went to overtime, and we're still mad that Sanders didn't get enough touches and against the worst run defense in the league. An overtime game.
Help me, Jesus.
It went all the way through 10 minutes of overtime.
5 fucking quarters.
You should never, ever complain about volume when a game ends in a tie. Never.
No.
And I'm complaining about volume.
No. Volume should be there in spades in an overtime game.
95 yards on 18 carries. It was stupid. 8 targets. He only had 4 receptions because those targets were hitting the ground. It drives me nuts. He's up against San Francisco.
He had half of those in the 4th quarter in overtime.
He's up against San Francisco, who has a really bad run defense.
Yeah, they're all banged up.
Because they're all banged up. I mean, they looked okay last week, but they're not going to be good. They got a rookie defensive tackle. They have 2 new defensive ends, right? Because it's Solomon Thomas and Nick Bosa. I love Miles Sanders. I think he's a very sneaky play this week.
Yeah, Carson Wentz, don't play him. Don't do it.
All right, so on to the wide receivers. Looking back,
they don't have any.
No, I meant on to the wide receivers for DFS sneaky plays.
Oh, okay, yeah, sneaky plays.
On to or looking back at week 1, right? We saw Juju Smith-Schuster smoke the Giants, right, out of the slot. This week the Rams have the Giants. Meanwhile, the chalk is all over Woods. Like all the chalk is on Woods. I think Kupp could actually have a massive, massive game. He has big playability, right? Yeah. And I'm a little bit concerned about the Giants not being able to score.
Yeah,
a little bit.
They can't.
But I'll have definitely a lineup with Evan Ingram, and Cooper. What do you guys think?
Yeah, Ingram for sure. Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods are going to score points. But like you said, everybody's going to have Robert Woods because that Giants defense is so bad. So bad. Like they are so bad. We're talking about all these bad defenses in the NFL. They're all so bad that we can't pick one. And that's the thing is we have all these high scoring players because they're going against nothing. They're either going against a team that's got 15 injuries on it, or they're going against a team that was never good to begin with.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah. So you get anybody against the New York Giants running or passing, and they're going to put up volume. And so Robert Woods is a good cash play. Cooper Kupp is good across the board. Jared Goff is probably going to be limited because of the blowout factor. Darrell Henderson's a smash play, but Cooper Kupp has a slightly lower owned than Woods. I mean, I still don't think he's going to be that low, but Woods is going to be chalk as hell. What about Higbee, though?
I like Cooper Kupp.
What about Higbee? Higbee's a slot receiver in his own right.
Yeah. I don't know. They play a lot of 12 sides. Yeah. All right. So, let's see. Where are we? I guess we're on the Flyers now. I don't know what happened to Drew Sample last week. I'm going back to the well on this.
Yeah.
I'm going back to the well. They had the connection. I don't know what the hell happened. The eye contact.
So what happened is Joe Burrow got decapitated.
Show you the world.
He got decapitated.
But why didn't he target freaking Drew Sample? It pissed me off.
He had less than 2 seconds to get rid of the ball.
But Drew Sample's a tight end. It should have made him even more viable. It drove me nuts.
I mean, if you get any time in the pocket, Drew Sample's going to run that 5-yard hook route and be open all day. But he didn't have any time last week. None.
No time. No.
I'm going back to the well with Drew Sample.
Okay. Yeah, I like it. My sneaky wide receiver is Laviska Shenault.
Ooh.
It's I mean, everybody knows I'm a big Visca season kind of guy. He was woefully not targeted very much in the Thursday game last week, but everybody kind of forgot about how explosive he is. And if you get into that Jacksonville getting blown out theory, yeah, they're going to want to put the ball in. I mean, short routes. That's all of big Visca season. Even with Chark back, that helps them even more because you have a field stretcher that brings the safeties back. And Laviska Shenault is the catalyst for that whole offense because his swing routes, his fake reverses, his end arounds, they confuse the defense. And if you have Chark taking the top off the defense, you have Visca that's going to be, I mean, you put the ball in his hands, he's going to make huge plays.
The other thing, too, is the fact that Jacksonville actually gives up a lot of points to the slot wide receiver. We saw Mike Gesicki go off last week, with the touchdown. We saw, it's been evident. It's been very evident that Jacksonville cannot cover the slot. I like any slot guy, and of course, Laviska Shenault is not always in the slot, but he does move to the slot from time to time. So
he's
he
all
can have
over
one
the field.
big play. Yeah, he's everywhere. He's everywhere.
He's the wind.
He's the wind in your hair.
Oh man, yeah. Here we go. Look at this. Boom. Jamie calls it out.
Well, yeah.
I love him. I love Shenault.
What can I say? I am a huge Laviska Shenault fan because I watch a ton of Pac-12 football, and that kid is impressive. Like, I mean, he played for Colorado. Colorado sucks. Like, they are terrible.
They're really bad.
But you'd have him lining up at quarterback, wildcat. He'd be running end arounds, fake reverses. You put the ball in his hands, and this kid, like, he'd be 1 on 11, and he would come out clean. You're like, what just happened? Laviska Shenault's running down the field, and nobody can catch him, obviously, because he's super fast. But he's so tough. He's 6 foot 220. He's built like freaking. I mean, he's built like Joe Mixon, but he plays wide receiver. I mean, I love him. Get the ball to Laviska Shenault. Minshew, shave your mustache if you don't target Laviska this week. I'm sick of your shit.
Never. All right. So, do you have a tight end?
Yes, I do. I would just lots of squats.
Wait, what?
I do lots of squats. I have a nice tight end.
Yeah, his end is tight. It's very tight.
So dumb.
Jordan Akins.
Really?
Yeah, I'm all over Jordan Akins. 3,300. And Watson. Him and Watson have chemistry. And if anybody's going to be your PPR build up, all I'm looking for is 10 points. At 3,300, you're looking for 3 times value plus. Give me Jordan Akins all day and twice on Sundays, especially twice on Sundays. He's a field stretcher at tight end. He's also a pretty quick route runner. And Watson he's so good. He'll find that guy. And I don't believe in Cooks that much, even though he's good. And Will Fuller, give me the hell away from Will Fuller. I hate Will Fuller. Randall Cobb's okay, but give me Jordan Akins at 3,300 to score 10 points, and you make it easy value out of it.
I like
All
it.
right. So on to the Flyers. Scott, do you have a guy?
We're looking tight ends right now. There's a couple of plays here that I think you could kind of fish for something. I don't know if you're gonna but I know there's some talk in Jacksonville that Tyler Eifert, the revenge game against Cincinnati, and Barfy McGruden's going to get him the ball. So if you want to lose some money now, I can't go with Tyler Eifert down there. He just makes me throw up. The real play is I think OJ Howard. He's somebody.
No.
I know. Yeah, I would never say that, but. Who else are they going to throw the ball to?
Gronk.
Mike Evans. Gronk, but Gronk costs a lot more than the cheap 3,300 you could get. OJ Howard gets a touchdown, you got that covered. So
Justin Watson, if you're talking Tampa,
how much is what's his price?
3,400.
That's a good price. I like that.
Yeah, if we're talking Tampa, it's yeah, that's a good joke.
Thank you.
But yeah, no OJ Howard. Don't give me Eifert. You have to refer to Eifert as the corpse of Tyler Eifert. It's his
No, that was
official name.
a total joke. That was not having Eifert on.
It's his official name, the corpse of Tyler Eifert. You have to use the full name when referring to him.
Le corpse.
The corpse. If we're talking just flyers at any position, Cordero Patterson, who's a running back, but on DraftKings he's a wide receiver. He's cheap. They don't have any other bodies at running back in Chicago other than Monty. Cordell Patterson's ageless. He's going to be explosive with the ball in his hands. He's going to make bonehead plays. He might fumble, but fumble's only -1 in DraftKings. So fire him up for a super cheap price. You never know. The Bears might pull a rabbit out of a hat and score a touchdown against the Colts, and I have a feeling it might be Cordero.
All right, guys. So we're about an hour and a half in. And I'm going to not actually address the Flyers. We're going to hop right over to our – oh, wait, where did it go? Our DraftKings share screen over here.
Yes.
So we're going to build a lineup.
Don't build the lineup that beats me.
Do it.
Do it.
No.
This is going to be for, Big Time's actual contest.
Yeah, you got to read the name of the contest, right?
Yeah.
What is it?
A hot box tongue slap.
The Hot Box Tongue Slap.
Get your tongue slapped, bitches.
All right, so we're going to start out with the quarterback stack, right, with wide receiver and everything.
Yep.
Which way are you guys leaning this week? Obviously, I like, Ryan Fitzpatrick. Bo does not. So let's meet in the middle and figure out a team that we like. I'm thinking Matt Stafford. I think we all agreed with, right?
I like Matt Stafford a lot. That's what I'm going to lean to in this play.
I'm not going to help you too much because it's going to be against me.
Dude, we could have just joined a different freaking league.
I don't know. I'm just saying. I like Nick Mullins a lot.
Yeah, we're going Matt Stafford.
Nick Mullins and George Kittle.
All right, we're gonna top that off with, of course, Kenny Galladay.
Oh yeah.
Are we going double stack in this, by the way?
Let's put Hockenhaus in there, man. As my wife refers to him as.
Good old Rose.
I know. God bless her. She beat me on 5-on-3, or she beat me on 1-on-1, 5-3. If you didn't hear it earlier in the pod, it was embarrassing. In front of my children, they're chanting, driving around in scooters and basketball court, chanting, "Go Rose, go Rose, go."
No blood, no foul. No blood, no foul.
It was all. Oh, you know what? Here's the thing. I got the wind knocked out of me by her derriere a few times. She goes hard to the paint and she sticks her butt out on purpose. She very aggressive. It's very aggressive.
She posterized you.
I don't foul. I fouled one time in the game. I called a foul on her one time, and she laughed at me and went and got the feedback. So
you deserve it.
Yeah, I love that. All the people cheering against me. At one point, I was having trouble breathing, so I went over and I did some stretches and cracked my back, and then I could breathe again. That was nice. Right? That was good.
Maybe basketball isn't your thing, Scott.
I went hard to the paint, and I didn't want to hit her with my. First of all, I needed to be able to land because I was in sandals, so I couldn't get my feet up in her feet. I had to jump away. I did a lot of fallback shooting over the shoulder. It was not hard to the paint, stop and go up. I didn't want to hit my wife with my elbows. It's tricky, man. You got a pretty lady, you got to keep her pretty, so you kind of do a little, She went hard to the paint though. She took it hard.
She didn't take any mercy on you. Oh, look at that. You got the Kamara Stafford stack. Love it.
I like that.
So we got Stafford, we got Kamara, we got Galladay, we got Hawkinson at the tight end.
Troutman in the flex.
Yeah. You know what? There's a lot of good plays on here that we could do. You want to tackle wide receiver or finish off running back? What do you guys think?
I think we have to go for running back.
Hello.
I think running back is the way to go from here. I think we need to play a high-end running back. I like Robinson, but I think we should go high-end running back over Robinson.
Dalvin again?
Dalvin Cook. Yeah. Dalvin Cook should smash this week. And then
you might have to play Troutman at flex now.
I don't know, man. We're at 4,000 left remaining. There's plenty of options, at the wide receiver position. Let's go ahead and go with defense first. Let's actually go ahead and go with defense first.
What if you put the Colts in there and see what that does for you at 3,300?
Colts over Cincinnati? Okay.
Well, you want to go Cincy against the Jiggy Jags?
We got 4,800 right here. So if we play one guy that's a little lower, like if we play, who do we talk about? Marvin Jones Jr. maybe.
Well, we already have a double. That'd be a triple stack.
We don't want to do that. Yeah,
No.
you're right.
Yeah, that'd be a bit tip.
Traquan
running it back. I like that.
Is that too much in one game though?
Well,
because we don't know about Drew Brees. Like his arm does not look good. I don't like Traquan.
I would say Traquan or Troutman if you're going to do that, but you can look elsewhere too.
Yeah, I'd rather go else. Like the whole point of this episode was actually talk about not overstacking stuff.
Yeah.
So, and going with one stack, and we already fucked up and went with Hawkinson. In addition, a game that could potentially be actually low scoring. Like we could actually see a very low scoring game with New Orleans, Detroit. Believe it or not.
Yeah,
just because they're trying to blow clock.
Wait, what do you blow, bro? There's a lot
Blow
of
clock.
going on.
This show is my favorite.
I really like Stephon Diggs.
Lots of blowing on this show.
I don't think you're going to be able to fit Diggs in at his cost though. 6,800. That's a huge, get for the last two positions. We'd have to just pay down through the nose. What do you think about the business?
says
I have
Justin
a solution. Oh shit! These prices a little up this week.
Yeah. Jamie says Justin Watson. I agree.
Justin Watson?
Mm-hmm.
What's Watson sitting at?
34.
We might have to drop down to a little lower defense on this one, but that's okay. Defenses are they're not the most important thing you're working with.
Get Diggs out
What
of there.
about where? Wait.
Get Diggs out of there.
Wait.
It's too
Hold
expensive.
your horses. I love Diggs this week, man. Diggs is my favorite play this week.
Why?
Can Jamie come off the screen so I can be back on?
Wait, you're still on the screen, right?
No, I'm,
No, the logo's getting covered in his face. It's like Mike Wazowski.
I'm being blocked here.
I didn't realize that was a thing.
I was on TV.
Wait, where is his comment? I'm trying to find. Hold on. All right, you're on.
Thank you. I'm
Hey,
back.
Scott.
Hey guys, I'm still here. I was peeing in a jug underneath. I digress.
Dude, I have so much editing to do tomorrow.
This is for you, buddy.
You invited us.
Yeah, this is fun. Yeah, so drop down your defense and check and see at the $3,000 level what we're working with here.
The defense. Yeah, wait, do you see it?
Here you go, Bengals. Is that where you mentioned them before?
That's where I love the Bengals this week.
Put them in there. You're
Drop it down,
$100
bro.
left.
He's got to get the Colts out of there first.
I know.
Yeah.
I just saw that.
X on their checks. So I gotta just while you're doing that, let me just do a little plug here for a scotch I've never had, but I'm about to have for the first time. It's called Hedonism. It was $145 at my local county-run liquor store, which prices are kind of depressed, honestly. On sale.
Dude, what is all that noise going on in the background? I can't hear you.
Oh, shaking.
Oh, you're the worst at background noise, by the way. You're the worst guest I've ever had about having background noise.
Yeah, I doubt that.
No, you are. There's been.
Gotcha. Anyway,
Oh, you're right.
so this is for cheers to Bo McBig Time and Chase, and get that out of there. I gotta hide now.
I just wanted to fuck with you. Wait. Hold on. Cheers, by the way. Wait, Jamie said he's gonna come on live with us. Jamie's never been on live.
Do we even know what he looks like?
I'm staying on. I'm gonna edit this podcast just because I need to get Jamie on because I love Jamie with a passion, and I need to get him on with us real quick.
Okay. You better be clothed.
Oh man.
I need some nachos. Let me just be honest. Right now, I need nachos.
Yeah.
Just
What are you going to put on those nachos?
I don't.
Scott?
I'm not a big fan of this lineup.
box?
Me neither. But I think you should put it in there because it's against me.
Yeah,
And
do
Scott's in there too. So
do it.
do it.
I'm gonna laugh if it fucking crushes.
It's $5. So
He said he had $6 in his account, so this is maxing out for him.
You're not supposed to say that.
You said it. I'm not. You
I said it when we weren't live.
he's got to reload.
You got to edit this.
Yeah, this is the first time. So, on a serious note, guys, this is the first time that I've actually ever had to reload an account. I've never actually done it before. So
I reloaded into my account.
I put $25.
I wanted to play more big contests this week, and I just got a bonus, so I'm ready to go.
I've put in $25 when I first started, and I've never turned back in 3 years now of DFS. I wasted $700 on freaking XFL.
Did you cash out any of your winnings over the years?
Oh yeah. Oh, I've cashed out probably close to 5,000.
Nice. My wife wants me to cash out that 5,000, but just looks so.
Jamie, I sent it to you in your Facebook message. Yeah, no, I've cashed out in like 3 years of 5,000 or 6,000 overall.
I'm loving that. You gonna push enter, or are you just like teasing us here with a little bit of pole dancing, and you're not really gonna give us the goods?
No, I don't like this lineup. I'm waiting for Jamie. All right, so I like Matt Stafford, right? I like Alvin Kamara. I like Dalvin Cook. I like Kenny Galladay. I like Stephon Diggs. And Isabel's questionable. Hawkinson, I don't like in this lineup.
Don't put him in there.
He's going up against the 32nd ranked defense against tight ends, bro. They only go to 32, and they got the trap.
It's a trap.
It's a trap. Look at Drew Sample down there at 35.
You're over.
No, I love Hawkinson.
Look at OJ Howard.
You're overthinking.
If you want to lose, play OJ Howard.
You have these you need to learn how to adjust your opinions to be able to make money because you are so strong-willed against certain players. And it's like this is a smash lineup.
Me or Bo?
That would be
Bo.
But that would be really bad if I didn't admit defeat when one of those guys blows up. I mean, I always call when I take an L, I take an L. And I'll take my medicine. If one of the guys I don't like goes off, I'm like, all right, fine, whatever. I'll take my medicine. If one of the guys I love doesn't do anything, I'll take my medicine and take that L. I mean, that's just what it comes down to. I don't like playing certain guys, and I love playing other guys.
I like Bo because Bo's definitive, and
I'm the same way.
Yeah. Well, Bo, here's the thing: we all hit and miss, and when Bo missed a little while ago with Tyler Higbee a couple weeks ago, he was like, "Yeah, I missed. Whatever, I missed." And when I miss with somebody, I say, I missed. I didn't, a bad call. But if you read Bo McBigtime's column over at Nimble W Numbers, especially the last one he just put up, there was a lot of hits last week. Fades that he did, not having in lineups that benefited him, and then also players to put in lineups. So I think, between the three of us, we're on to something. And I mean, this lineup's not beautiful. You put Diggs in there, that's when it went different for me. I can't go Diggs. It's just not my, not my bag right this week.
Why not Diggs up against the Giants?
Price.
Who else is going to do anything?
Well, he's not going against the Giants. He's going against the
Raiders.
Oh, I'm sorry, the Raiders. The Raiders.
I think there's better value at that price. I think you're getting him at a max price, but I don't know if he's going to do that this week. But we'll see.
Raiders are 10th best against opposing wide receivers this year.
Have you seen the wide receivers they've had to face?
Yeah, not much.
Nothing, exactly. And they're giving up points to the wide receiver.
No, I'm not against Diggs. I just think he's priced too high this week.
Yeah. I'll just say for that price, I would rather have Cooper Kupp $100 less or Amari Cooper, like you said, who's a smash. We don't have Cooper in this lineup. Let's pivot to Cooper, get that extra 100. What do you think about that play? Because you liked Cooper. You said that was a smash earlier, and you also touted Kupp. So those are two guys we could lean on. And if you really want to get crazy, drop down to 6,400 against Mike Evans. Mike Evans is the only target Tom Brady is going to have that's going to be, I think, worth a damn in that game. You can do that too. Those are a couple different options.
I like all of those guys over Diggs this week.
Yeah, me too. So those are just some.
All right, we're taking Diggs out.
You're getting the nimble. Honestly, this is the truth. We would let you lose, but we want you to win.
Who do you guys want?
Cooper.
Yeah, I like Cooper.
Galladay and Cooper at wide receiver. That's
ridiculous. That's two wide receiver ones.
And Kamara and Cook.
Listen, Cooper hasn't cooked yet either. Cooper hasn't had that game where he goes for 9 and 2 touchdowns at 125 or 152. He hasn't had that. If it happens this week,
Where's he at? What price?
59.
yeah, 59. He's underneath. So scroll down even. No,
He said
59.
59.
67. Amari Cooper's at 67.
He's
Oh,
way
yeah,
up there.
100 less than.
He's 100 less than Diggs, though.
All right, and then tight end.
How much you got left?
I don't know. I'm not trying to show, what I have in my account right now after last week.
Don't be ashamed. We all reload. I reloaded several times.
49. That's what I got left. So Hawkinson's in play.
I like Hawkinson.
Hockenhouse at that is my guy there, yeah.
All right, we're entering it.
If he had 52, I'd go Waller, but
Yeah, that's a both are going to be the top 2 options, I think, this week.
All right, guys.
yeah.
That's it. Plug where we can find you.
One.
You can find me. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I am Bo McBigtime at Bo_McBigtime at nimblewithnumbers.com. nimblewnumbers.com. I'm also at the same site as Scott, and also at Podcastic FF. That's where you find my picantics. And also hotboxbatch.com, where you can find the famous Hotbox small batch gourmet hot sauce, the Smoke Shack barbecue rub, and a link to Viridian Global to buy Hotbox merch.
Hotboxbatch.com. That shit's fucking hot. I love it. It's the best hot sauce out there. You can find me at Nimble W Numbers. You can also find me at thefantasymillionaires.com. My 2 podcasts, or several, but DFS Money Shot tomorrow. I'm going up against Anthony Servino of the FF Face-Off. He's trying to avenge my beatdown of Michael Hoff. I just gave Mike Hoff the 144 to 111 ass whooping. And so it's on. It's on Donkey Kong. So and then the next week we're going to rerun it. The 3 of us do a little triple action, little menage a trois, and I'm hoping to go and beat them all each week. You know what I mean? If I can do that, run the table after I beat you, go on a heater, Bo's might be the only loss I have so far. And then I'm coming up with Kevin Tompkins after that. So I got some great guests on that podcast. Awesome. It's going to be, and then fast, hard, finish tomorrow night, sometime after 11, probably, right? So, yeah. And that's every Saturday night. That's the best. And Chase, you're welcome to come on that if you want to roll down. You're always down to get down.
I'm going to be wasted tomorrow night.
Woo! You know what? I told my wife, I said Oktoberfest ends on Sunday. And we are graciously part of my daughter is somebody who has leukemia, and she's fighting leukemia right now, and she's winning the battle. She's 9 months in fighting it. Yeah, she's 10 months into doing it. She's doing well. But there's a foundation called Hope for Henry, and it's a family who lost their son to cancer, and they've dedicated their life to caring for, loving, and blessing people whose families are going through this. They're special, special people. My wife did a video for them because they've been helping us. They got an iPad for my daughter, my younger daughter. They're good people. And so they were going to do a gala, but because of COVID, they're unable to do it. So they sent all the stuff to us. They sent us beer, wine, like 20 beers. And so here's one of them. I got an IPA. It's a DC Brow from DC. It's a session beer. My fridge is loaded with them. I went to the beer store today and I bought 2 4-packs of the Oktoberfest. I mean, I'm going to be hammered with you, Bo. It's going to be and Chase, if you're there, you'll be hammered. So please check that out.
Yeah, no, definitely, man.
I'm going to be
much when I'm hammered. So
I'm going to get on a Molly whiskey cocktail. That'll be good.
Oh yeah, and then I got this good thing too here. The hedonism. Yeah, this is good. Yeah. I like it. It warmed my stomach and my soul. Like it just gave me a warm. Like I felt like I was in a warm town. Yeah.
I like how I gave you my Scotch pick, but it was probably too late, and then you shit on it. It was on sale, but I totally walked past it.
No, it was the second choice. It was the first choice actually. I was going to get that one because I was like, oh, that's the one. I knew that was the one. But then I saw this one, and it was like, it's a small batch, and it's the last one on the shelf. They're sold out. They're done for the year. So they try to stock a year's worth of all of their liquor, thinking, this will sell, whatever it is. Montgomery County has no more of this. And I talked to my guy, Pete Davidson, who's a Scotch guy. Scott Fish has been on his show where they talk Scotch. And he shared, he was like, dude, I can't even afford that. That's incredible. So this is just for me, but really for us and for how things are going so far this year. It's been a great fantasy football year. I'm excited to have relationships with all you guys and, to be winning money, to DFSing it, and just Oktoberfesting it and all the fast, hard finishes we can have. So
are you dropping my article tonight or tomorrow?
You know what? What time is it? I'll drop it tonight and tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like,
It's going to be, I'm so excited for that release. Cause have you read it yet?
No, I've been, I had date nights with my daughters. That's why
you're going to need to get the lotion and Kleenex out because it's going to be fucking good. Well, I love me some me. That article is fucking awesome.
Oh, I can't wait. I love what your voice was in the last article that you shared. You were just very much, yeah. How you like?
We've been going for 2 hours.
This is all getting cut, by the way.
Yeah,
every last second of it. You guys have created like literally an hour worth of cuts for me. I'm gonna be miserable.
You're gonna love it because we're funny.
All right, thanks guys for tuning in. I'm done. Have a good night.
Love you, Chase.
Love you, Chase.